Welcome to Geeky Faucets. This is episode 4. I'm Amy Dale.
And I'm Christine Lucas-Savage.
And today we're going to continue talking about more awesome geek movies coming up. But first, we have show and tell.
Yes, show and tell. So my cousin, Amanda, she called me and she said, hey, did you get any mail from me? I was out of town at the time. So I came home to receive this. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's a calendar. And then I don't know how well you can see the pictures, but it says, bow ties are cool. When the time is right, we will emerge and take our rightful place as supreme power in the universe. So yeah, this is a hand-drawn, well, it's photocopy, but it's originally hand-drawn calendar of Doctor Who stuff. How amazing is that? I mean, really.
It's really awesome.
And here's the best part, is that you can buy it too if you want to. I mean, I don't even know. It made my whole year. I opened it up and I immediately stuck it on the refrigerator. On one of those little magnet. Yeah, it's really awesome. So the person who drew it, her name is Stephanie, I think, would you say that Huber?
I think so. Huber.
Huber. You can find her on Etsy. If you just type in her name, Stephanie Huber, Huber. She'll pop up and you can buy each individual drawing or calendar, and trust me, it will make you very happy because I've been looking at February, which has the Dalek on it, all month long, and it just really makes me very, very happy. And they're all hand drawn, and I just think it's totally cool. So anyway, totally cool. Huge, awesome surprise for me. Look up Stephanie Huber on Etsy. And speaking of things, did you know my fabulous co-host over here wrote a book?
I did.
Yeah, it's called Off With Her Heart, and it's amazing. I guess I should let you tell them about it, huh?
You're doing great.
Okay. Well, she's an amazing author. No. Let me blow some more sunshine up your butt. Would you like that?
Yeah, that's great.
Does that make you feel really good? Oh,
it really
good.
does. I can tell about it. That's fine. It was basically the backstory of the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland. So just goes back and kind of tells how she became who she became. So it's on Kickstarter right now. We're doing a Kickstarter project. So if you go on Kickstarter and search for Off With Her Heart, you'll find it. Or you can go to my blog, which is amydale.com, and there's a link on the sidebar that will take you to it.
And just for the record, I've read it multiple times, and it's really good. My mom read it. She thought it was really good.
Yay! Mom got
yeah. Mom points.
Yes. Love your mom, so that's good.
Yeah, so great book. Don't forget to check it out.
And
you will want to.
I have to express a formal apology to Threadless, because in our last episode we ranted about girl geek shirts, and I said that Threadless didn't have good girl geek shirts, but it's more because I'm not good with technology and didn't realize that my husband was like, that is not right, you're so not on the wall on this one. But apparently every design they have you can get in a girl shirt.
But do they have them in V-necks? Or is it just these kinds of girl shirts? Because here's the other, because I've been doing research on this, because here's the other problem, is that they do have girl shirts, but they're still crew neck girl shirts. And I want a nice like V-neck or scoop neck girl shirt, like really feminine and flattering. But that's apparently very difficult.
I don't know, because I'm lucky that I was able to navigate it enough to get to, because I went on and I was like, I don't know if he's right, because that's what I always think when he tells me something. And I was like, I'm just going to check this out. And so I went to Threadless and looked at the Spider-Man design that I loved, and sure enough, you could get it in a girly version. But I don't remember if it was... I just remember thinking, oh, he was right.
But at least they're there.
Right.
You know, we have a start with the girl cuts. Now we just need to get a little bit lower neckline. Because sometimes I have really cute necklaces that I'd like to wear, and it'll look much better with a scoop neck or a V-neck. But
Right.
And I think like my biggest problem is that at, the actual like Galaxy Fest, when people are actually selling the shirts, there was a serious lack of...
Dude. That was disturbing.
Stock girl shirts.
We find your lack of geek girl shirts disturbing.
We do. Stock them, because I want to buy them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We want to give you our money.
We do, and I have some, so.
Okay, so on to the movies.
Yes.
We're excited about. Okay, so one that's coming out pretty soon, I think, is Jack and the Giant Slayer.
I have got to say, I think Ewan McGregor is going to be hilarious.
I love Ewan McGregor. I
think he's going to be really funny.
Brilliant and lovely to look at. And so the main dude in it, whose name is Nicholas Hoult, I think. is the kid that's also in Warm Bodies.
I was trying to figure out where I'm like,
Yeah,
why do you look so familiar?
right?
Yes,
I know.
yes, the guy from Warm Bodies. That's exactly what it is.
Yes, and
which I had a friend who saw that, and she said it was actually decent.
Okay.
So, you know, I mean, as long as you go into it knowing it's a romantic comedy with zombies, as long as you
about zombies,
right,
and love. So
right. So as long as you go in probably not expecting much, it'll probably be pretty good. So anyway, sorry.
No, that's a good side note. Also, Stanley Tucci is in this movie.
I love him.
He is
oh my word, he's hilarious.
So funny. And Bill Nighy. I don't know if you know who that is, but he is a British actor. In the Van Gogh episode of Doctor Who, he plays the curator of the museum, like the guy that's talking.
Yes.
Oh, he's
very
funny.
versatile. I
Yeah.
like him.
And if you've seen Love Actually, he plays like an aging rock star, and oh my word, he's brilliant and so funny. So funny. So that movie looks pretty good, and it looks like it might be almost a family film that you could maybe take. Like I could take
the
my
giants
older,
look a little scary.
well, for younger kids, but my kids, my son does special effects makeup, so
He'd
my
probably
kids are
love it.
hardened to the world.
Why do giants always have to be really gross looking? Like, why can't they have decent looking giants? They always have to be scary and gross.
Oh, except for in Ella Enchanted, there's a giant in it that's a chick that looks like a supermodel. Have you seen that?
I did, but I don't remember a giant.
Yeah, she falls in love with the elf. And
So
she's
adorable.
like, yeah, it's...
Well, anyway, I think they need to work on making the giants less scary. Like, why do they always have to be scary?
Yeah, poor giants.
I know.
They're so generalized and stereotyped, all that,
I know.
whatever.
Whatever. I'm in a family of tall people, and we're not ugly. I'm not tall, but my family isn't ugly.
No,
We're scary.
They're not.
Sometimes
They're
they are.
Okay, the other one is The Host. This is another Stephanie Meyer's novel who wrote the Twilight series.
Which I love.
And Christy loves everything about it.
I really do.
I actually enjoyed the books. I have to be honest, I have not enjoyed the movies. I tried, I really did, but I just didn't. I almost felt they tainted the books, to be honest.
I
But
love
that's
every
a
single
side note.
second of it. But anyway.
But The Host is another book written by her, and I think, regardless of how you feel about Twilight, that you should treat this as a separate entity because it's so different. Don't you think that
It's
so
very different. I couldn't get through it.
Like she didn't
just
even like
couldn't.
it. I loved it. Like I thought it was way better than the Twilight series.
It
Personally,
was just really, it was slow for me. Like it didn't go, and I'm just like, this is really, like, it didn't capture my interest at all.
Well, it's written about. I mean, it's about these aliens that come and sort of take over
your body.
and they take over your body, but you can't. I mean, like you look at a person and they look like themselves, except for like this little thing in their eye. You can kind of tell that the alien's taken over or whatever. But it's not a young adult novel, which the Twilight series was young adult. And
I thought this was a young adult.
No, it was aimed for adults. So I think that's why it wasn't, like young adults novels tend to be a little quicker moving. And
well, I prefer that because when I read at night, and if it's slow moving, I just fall straight to sleep. So maybe that's part of the problem.
Loved The Host. Like I thought it was a great book. So I'm interested. I don't actually know. It's coming out in March, so that's soon. But I don't have any idea who any of it. I watched the preview and I was like, I don't know
recognize
who any of these people are.
I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of interest in it. I might see it just to see.
Yeah.
But I just.
I've forgotten a lot of the story because I read it when it first came out. So I'd be interested to see it and to see how they've done it. So that'll be good to see that one.
Maybe.
And then, how do you say that? Elysium?
Elysium, maybe?
We don't know how to pronounce this one. It's Elysium, if you want to Google it. Elysium or something similar.
I don't know.
And it comes out in August, and I'm actually pretty excited about this one because it is done by the same guy that directed District 9, which I don't know if you saw District 9.
I never even heard of that one.
Oh, okay. District 9 is a sci-fi film about these aliens that come down, and they're sort of like, they're like big bugs is kind of what they look like.
I hate bugs.
And anyway, one of the guys, one of the humans sort of ends up turning into one of them, but it's a really interesting, it's a movie with a lot of depth, like it has sort of other meanings kind of thing. Depth?
I know. I'm a surface level moviegoer.
But this one
I don't find depth.
This one is supposedly, it's got Matt Damon, so there's that.
Well,
you don't have to have depth.
I need eye candy.
So it's got Matt Damon and Jodie Foster, and
which I like her. Did you know she speaks fluent French?
I'm not surprised. She seems super brainy to me.
Yeah, I've
seems
heard her
really
speak
smart
French
person.
in French movies, and she's very good.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know if you were very good at speaking French or not, to be honest.
She sounded good.
She sounded great to us.
I think
she sounded great to the girl from Oklahoma. I was like, her French is awesome. Okay, so this one is about like 1% of the population lives in like a luxury space station, and the rest of humanity is suffering, and so it sounds like it's going to be another that kind of movie where it's got depth. He says it's not a political movie, but it sounds
That sounds like it's
a
going to be
little bit like
political.
it is. So I'll be interested to see that.
I don't like it when they add political stuff into movies. I really just don't. Like, can you just make it just fun? Like, why do we have to add all that crap?
Yeah, you know.
I guess some people like it, and
some
that's
people
fine.
do. Because I went and saw Zero Dark 30 with John the other day. You know that one's about the whole.
No, every time I think of that movie, I always think it's about zombies.
Me too. Because when it first came out to our theater, I was like, oh, a zombie. Oh, that's not a zombie.
What is it even about?
It's about the people. Like it's about hunting down Osama bin Laden.
Oh, right. We have that book.
Yeah. And, you know, I am not into political movies or military movies. I'm kind of like...
I like military movies if they're done well, but they're usually like a one-time watch for me.
Yeah.
Like Black Hawk Down was great, but it's a one-time watch.
It was great that one time.
Yeah,
I
the one time.
agree.
And then I'm done.
And I do remember, I think it was Black Hawk Down. Is that the one with Meg Ryan?
She's in Top Gun.
I thought that
Nathan
was
Fillion is in
Courage Under Fire. No, that's
Is it Nathan Fillion is in Black Hawk Down?
Oh, he is.
He's
like
Black
Hawk Down is like Matt Damon or something.
No, I thought he was in that one.
No, I'm not saying Nathan Fillion's not in it. But I'm just saying it's a bunch of dudes, right?
It's a bunch of dudes.
But there's some movie where there's a military movie and it's a helicopter and Meg Ryan's in it. If you guys know what it is, let me know.
It's Top Gun.
Because no, it's not Top Gun. And anyway, she's like this super like awesome military chick, and she says something.
Sure that's not Demi Moore with the shaved head.
No, she gets shot at one point, and she says something about she pushed out a 9-pound baby with no drugs, so she can handle this. And I remember being like, yeah, because I did that
I was
too.
totally there.
9 pounds, 2 ounces for me. Thank you very much.
I only had a 7-pound 14. That was my biggest one.
So I was, you know, I was like one with her in that moment, but obviously not one enough to remember what movie it was. So
well, it's all right. If you do know, please let us know because we clearly have no idea.
Yeah, I guess I'll try to find it on Google. G.I. Joe Retaliation. Now, I'll be honest, I watched G.I. Joe as a kid, and I loved it.
I liked My Little Pony as a kid. My brothers liked G.I. Joes.
I loved G.I. Joe, and I did not watch the first movie because I loved the first one. Oh my word! I saw the preview and I was just like, I don't know if I can do that.
See, I didn't.
So I still haven't watched the first one.
Okay, see here, because I didn't think I could watch it either. I'm like, this sounds kind of stupid, and I'm not sure. But one day I was bored and it was on Netflix, so I watched it, and it was like Star Trek for me. Totally unexpected and awesome.
Really?
I loved it.
Well, maybe I need to check it out.
So I'm way looking forward to this next one.
But I saw the preview. It comes out in March, G.I. Joe Retaliation.
So excited.
I saw the preview in the theater, and I have to say, there's one factor that makes me desperately want to see it, and that would be Bruce Willis.
Yes. Oh my word. Yes.
I love him.
He's
my
hilarious.
favorite. He's my favorite action star.
And here's what I think too.
Oh,
well, here's what I think too is he adds the funny in there. He's not so serious because I hate movies where it's always so serious. Like I feel like after the movie's over, my heart's been pounding and I'm like, oh, like I need to take
comic relief.
Yes,
yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And I think he'll add it. And then Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, aka The Rock, he's in it.
And Channing Tatum. He's the eye candy for people who are into him.
Yeah. And I would like to.
I
kind of am too. No, but I'd like to mention here. So you know how I love Korean dramas? It's no big secret. Mm-hmm. So there is a Korean drama actor in G.I. Joe Retaliation. He is Storm Shadow. His name is Lee Byung-hun. And he is...
So you'll definitely be camping out for this movie then?
Well, I didn't even know he was in the first... Well, yeah, of course. He was in the first one, too, and my mom pointed it out, because he's also from this drama. It's called Iris. I haven't seen it yet. I'm a little worried about the end of it, because my dad's like, you're not going to like the end, because I tend to like the end of movies tied up in a perfect little bow, and it's shiny. Mm-hmm. Shiny, perfect bows. And he said the end of this one is...
things left.
It's not dangling. It's like yucky endings. Like endings
like the sad endings.
Sad endings, or endings that you're like, what? Was that necessary? You know, kind of thing. Like, tie it in a perfect bow, let the lead kiss and be happy, and you know they're going to go on and have babies, and life is going to be great. But in any case, I would just like to say, Korean drama actor, crossover to America, and he's decent looking.
Well, now see, Bruce Willis, I fell in love with. Did you ever watch Moonlighting? Mm-mm. I don't even know where you can find Moonlighting these days, but it was him and Sybil Shepherd, and it was like a detective show, and he... was so great. I mean, just all dialogue and just that little thing, that little smirk he does.
I love that.
Oh, it was so good. It was such a good show. So I fell in love with him then. And then when I saw the first Die Hard, I was like, oh my word, this guy's so freaking awesome. So, I mean, yeah. So I kind of saw that preview and I was like, well, Bruce Willis is in it.
What is the movie that Bruce Willis is in? Oh my word, why can't I think of it? And where he's doing like a museum heist. It was long, long ago. I cannot think of, Mom, if I know you know it and all my brothers know it. You guys need to tell me what it, I cannot think of it off the top of my head. But
is he the robber?
Yeah. If I think of it by the end, I'll let you know. But I shouldn't, yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
We like Bruce Willis, in other words.
We do. We're fans. So, yeah, Bruce Willis and Nathan Fillion, they're probably the top of the list for us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, The Lone Ranger.
Okay, I had not seen a preview of this until recently.
Mm-hmm.
Did not expect it to look that good.
Yeah, I was surprised as well because I also watched The Lone Ranger as a kid, and it was like the black and white, you know, and Tonto was just, Kimosabi. And it was good. I mean, I enjoyed it as a kid, but it was not like, the preview for this was like, wow.
I hope it's going to be funny, too, because Johnny Depp, he can be funny, like his Pirates of the Caribbean dude. I'm really hoping that there's going to be humor in it, because it's going to ruin it if it's too serious.
So this is Johnny Depp is playing Tonto, and Armie Hammer, do you know who this is?
Mm-mm.
Have you seen The Social Network? Because he plays the whatever their last name is, twins.
Oh, the twins.
Yeah, the twins.
Mm-hmm.
So he plays those guys, like the big, tough guys, and his real name's Armie Hammer. Interesting, isn't it? I read some article all about that, but I just thought, that's really your name, Armie Hammer? Because that's kind of,
Hey, that's all right.
weird. It's just unusual, because it makes me think of baking soda every time I hear his name. Armie Hammer.
Oh, I was just thinking about the army. And
No.
Hammer and army.
Armie Hammer.
See what I mean about depth? There's none. I'm surface level when it comes to movies. Surface.
Yeah. So anyway, that one looks really good. It looks action-packed.
It does.
Okay, After Earth and that one's coming out in July. After Earth comes out in June. And this looks like just another of the Smith dynasty films because it's Will Smith and his son Jaden are starring in this one. And
I will tell you, I am a huge fan of Will Smith. Huge.
And he's great in action movies.
He's
I
great
really
in
like
everything.
him. Yeah, he is.
And he runs in every single one of his action movies, which I know it's an action movie, but actually in every one of his movies, I'm pretty sure he's running.
It's
and
like,
I think it's funny.
It's like the Doctor is always
He's
running.
always
too.
running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is like a... I'm just kind of, this is supposition because I don't really know what it's about, but it's like like all the humans live somewhere else now, and then they come back, like their the thing that they fly in, their spaceships crashes back on Earth, and so, you know, like Will Smith is all warning his son, like, okay, the Earth has evolved now, and everything here is designed to kill humans, and so it looks like one of those alien, you know, apocalyptic, yeah. So I'm not sure. I kind of am excited about it, but I'm like,
It feels like we're getting a lot of those kinds of movies right now, like the one with Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
What is it? Oblivion. Sounds pretty similar.
That one looked better to me, to be honest. This I'm not saying After Earth does not look good. It comes out in June, by the way, so we'll have a few more months to wait to see. But it looks. It just looks a little bit to me, this might not be a fair comparison, but it looks a little bit like Avatar, except without the blue people. Just like the world, Avatar. You know, the world kind of looked Avatar-ish to me, and it just kind of, I don't know.
Okay, well, so I'm not sold.
I'm holding
not
holding out my opinion on that one. Okay, so Pacific Rim.
This is one of those ones that looks, like I was saying earlier, how I just need a deep breath, like there's not enough comedy in there for me. I think there might be a little bit, but it looks... I was trying to think of the word, because it's almost too, I don't think epic's the word for it. Intense. I think it's going to be too intense for me.
Yeah, it looks like, it's basically, I think the concept is that these aliens were like in the Earth, and they come out.
And there's like another dimension in the Earth.
Yeah, and they come out and they're like attacking people, and so the people create these giant robots that people can get inside of and fight the aliens.
I think that's pretty cool because they don't actually have to be in the robots. They like are in a control center.
Oh yeah, they're somewhere else,
robots. So
yeah,
I think that's pretty cool.
So it's a bit like it's got a little bit of a Transformer vibe to it. Don't you think? A little bit. Like that's kind of the image.
It feels dark. It feels really, really dark. Like in the whole preview is dark. There's nothing light about it.
And it is directed by whose name I'm going to butcher because I'm from Oklahoma. Guillermo del Toro, who also did Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth. which actually I really enjoyed both of those films. So, you know, I wasn't super excited by the preview because I think I've like been overdosed on Transformer at this point. You know what I mean? I'm like, ugh. Like when I first saw it, I was like, really another Transformer? And then I was like, oh, well, okay.
Sorta.
So I'm going to give it a chance just because of Guillermo. Because I do love Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth. So I'm just going to...
We shall see.
We shall see, yeah. Oh, and this next one you must be super
Thor,
excited
of course
about.
I'm excited about Thor. Thor's one of my favorites.
Thor, the Dark World.
For one, he's pretty.
Yeah.
And two, he's
Lovely
Scandinavian,
hair.
which I am Scandinavian, although you probably can't tell because I don't have blonde hair, nor am I tanned by any stretch of the imagination. But I swear, I am Scandinavian, so I think me and Thor are like this.
Yeah, you guys are probably distant relatives.
And I just think he's funny. I don't know, I just really like him.
I do too, and I loved the first Thor movie.
Oh, totally. I watched that one repetitively.
In fact, I took my non-geek... My parents have a little bit of geek in them. I mean, but, you know, they're not really comic book superhero type necessarily. And so I took them to see it with my husband and thinking, I'm going to be the only one that likes this film, but I'm going to like it.
It is pretty
So
good.
I took them all to see it, and afterwards they were like, that was so good. I was like, yes.
It's because he's so nice and he's so connectable to me. I don't know.
Loki was such a great bag.
Loki's very
great.
good.
I love him.
Bad guy. He's just creepy enough. And that smile that he does when I love that. That makes me very
Now
happy.
here's an interesting fact that you may or may not have heard yet about the new
What's that?
Thor, which is the bad guy is played by Christopher Eccleston.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, so that's the
Ninth
Ninth
Doctor, y'all.
who we don't love as the Doctor, but he's a great actor.
Did you know he was the villain in Gone in 60 Seconds, and I loved him as the villain in Gone in 60 Seconds.
Oh, okay. See, I haven't seen that in like a long time.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time either, but I just like listening to him talk.
He's going to be a really good bad guy. It's like a race of dark elves or something, and he's the leader. So, and this takes place after the Avengers, from what I've read. So
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'll be seeing
and
that one.
that one's in November, so we have a ways to go on that one. And then
I hate
for
that they make us wait so long.
right after that in December, we have The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
We already know my feelings about The Hobbit, so I probably will wait for this one to come out.
Except that Benedict Cumberbatch does the voice of Smaug,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's going to be worth sitting through 5 hours worth of battling and orcs.
We differ our opinion on this particular movie series.
I think the story of The Hobbit is great, but I don't want to sit and watch it for 5 hours.
I do. If you have an extended version, Peter Jackson, that's like 6 hours, I'm in.
I'm not buying it.
So, yeah, I actually have the extended versions of all the Lord of the Rings, and I love them.
And I do not.
And my only complaint about The Hobbit is the first time I went to see it, I went to see it at the high screen rate, or whatever the technical term is for that, where he
makes it look like a soap opera.
Yes, it's totally what it did. And so I watched it, and I was like, I don't like this film as well as his other ones, and I couldn't put my finger on it. And it took me about 20 minutes to get into the film and be like, it's The Hobbit, but the second time I saw it with the normal, thing, and I loved it. It just was, yeah.
I'll leave that one to you.
So The Hobbit, I'm super excited about, and I love Martin Freeman as Bilbo. It's perfect casting.
I do love Martin Freeman. I will give you that. I do like watching him.
And all the dwarves and Gandalf's back and all that is great. And then super excited to see Smaug. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because this is sort of the part of The Hobbit that everybody, like if you've read The Hobbit as a kid or whatever, you always sort of go back to the dragon. To the dragon. Like that's the part that you really remember. Maybe the spiders as well, which will probably be in this film because it's right before, yeah. Anyway, so I'm excited to see that one. I think it'll be interesting.
So keeping with the superhero theme, I know that was like one back. I want to talk about Iron Man 3.
Oh, yes.
I think we differ on opinions about this one because in my opinion, I think you need to keep the essence of funny man Robert Downey Jr. because that is why I like, because he is snarky and sarcastic and perfect in every way. And this one, just watching the trailer, looks too dark.
Yeah, it looks much more serious. Like now, like it looks like there's a villain that's going to go after Pepper Potts. Is that her name?
Yeah, which I will have a problem if she gets hurt. Like, leave her out of it.
Yeah,
please.
She's pretty great.
I really, really like her.
And I have a very soft spot for Iron Man because he reminds me a lot of my husband. Like his personality is so like my husband. Like the snarky. cocky.
Okay, snarky. Yes, I'll give you snarky.
Yeah, and cocky, like, yes, I am. Yes, I am
awesome.
Philanthropist, playboy, blah, 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 you know.
Really?
Yeah.
I never got that from you.
Yeah, when I watched The Avengers, I was like, oh, dude, that's totally John. Even, like, when he was, like, prodding Bruce Banner, like, to try and get him to turn into the Hulk, I was like, oh, my word, my husband would so do that. He would be like, what happens if I make you angry?
Let me provoke you just a little bit more.
Oh, that's so him. So it was really, yeah, so I do love it. And I'm super excited about it. I think it looks good. I'm okay with dark. I think that they will throw in funny because
they because otherwise I will be disappointed.
Yeah, and they probably, you know, when you think about it, when they only have a certain amount of time to do a trailer, and they want it to be like things exploding and things flying and people.
But I need a joke in there too.
Yeah,
you know, make me laugh. I want a joke.
It's true. I like the jokes. I mean, that's why I love Avengers. Avengers, I laughed as much as
I actually was watching. That's great to work out too. I was working out yesterday I was on the elliptical, then I was on the recumbent bike, and I had my little iPhone sitting there. I was watching the Avengers. It's great. Like the Hulk came out, you know, when they're in the spaceship or not the flying thing, and the Hulk comes out and is chasing after Scarlett Johansson. I'm like, I started pedaling fast because I'm like, I'm the Hulk.
Yes.
And I'm not. But
yes. You
it was like, and then when things are exploding, I'm like, yes, and I'm it's very motivational.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's also another Percy Jackson coming out. I don't really know much about it. I haven't really looked into it.
Anything about it.
The first one was, to be honest. I enjoyed the books, but
it's for kids though, like young adult.
But that's the problem. The first one was scary.
Was it?
I never saw it. Too scary. Like it was for me, not for me, but for like my kids that had read the book couldn't really watch it and enjoy it because it was, a little bit intense. Okay, one I'm super excited about. The last two we're going to end with are a little more obscure, probably. Very much more obscure.
Can I say the name of it? Because I think the name of it is going to be great. It's called The Knights of Badassdom.
Yes. That's one.
And just the name alone makes me kind of want to see it because that's just funny. But then again, when it has names like that, then you're always worried about content because, you know, sometimes a really good name means really crappy content.
Yeah, and this movie is absolutely going to be adult content.
It will be.
It will be.
Yeah.
And the actors included in this one are Peter Dinklage, who we love, and all you Game of Thrones fans will love, and Steve Zahn.
I love him.
Funny guy.
Yeah,
love
I think
him.
he's great.
Summer Glau, who is
she's on Firefly.
She's in Firefly. She's also in a Terminator.
She's the weirdo on Firefly.
Yeah, she's like the crazy chick.
The crazy sister.
Brilliant, crazy chick. So this movie, actually, the context is that they are LARPing, which if you are not familiar with LARPing, it is live action role play. So they're all doing role-playing games, but they're in full costume in this field and having the maps and everything. And so they accidentally summon a succubus from hell. And so that's sort of, that's the...
See, I just think the premise is hilarious. I just hope that the movie will be funny. But see, I just can't expect anything. If I expect nothing...
And we don't know the release date, because I don't even think they have a release date. It was supposed to be released in 2012, and then last time I looked on the internet, it said 2013. So if you guys have any information, let us know.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can find a trailer if you Google it, and it made me laugh.
The trailer alone is kind of worth it. Don't watch it with children around, because the succubuses are a little kind of creepy.
They are creepy.
Yeah.
Okay, the other one that I'm so excited about. Okay, you may not know this. I don't know if I've said this on here yet. I'm a huge Simon Pegg fan. I heart Simon Pegg a lot.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, and Nick Frost, love him. And Edgar Wright is the director and all this. And I love him, and I follow him on Twitter obsessively. So great. Anyway,
weird fangirl.
I am. I'm a little bit of a weird fangirl about them. Anyway, so they call it the Cornetto trilogy, and it's Shaun of the Dead. And then Hot Fuzz, and so the third one's coming out this year, and it's called The World's End, and it's about a pub crawl, and they go to all these different pubs, and it's supposedly sci-fi. I don't actually know everything.
There's no trailer out for it.
There's not a trailer. There's only a picture.
A picture of a sign.
Of like a pub sign that says The World's End.
I have no idea.
We don't know much yet. There's not been a huge amount released yet. Martin Freeman is in it as well.
Simon Pegg and Nick together.
Yeah.
They're like the BFF comedy duo.
Yeah, and they were in this show. There's also a show with them in it called Spaced, which is like a British sitcom type
I didn't
thing.
get that. I tried watching it. It just didn't.
It's not for everybody, for sure.
Mm-hmm. It's like
It
Korean
made me
drama.
Not exactly like Korean dramas, but I guess.
No, meaning not for everyone. Some people enjoy them, some people do not.
Exactly. Anyway, so I am really excited about that film, and I don't even know if they have a release date yet, but it's gonna be a winner.
Yeah, that's a pretty good movie, Roundup. I just want to say
Yes.
we covered a lot.
We did, and we're excited because we're going to be at the movies a lot this year.
I know, right? I'm so excited.
I know. It's going to be good. So please, if you enjoy this podcast, please hit subscribe. Hit thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And
hit thumbs up, you mean like?
Yeah, like. No, on the bottom of the YouTube thing.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Facebook.
On Facebook, you can like us on Facebook, and we will interact with you, and on Twitter, and you can email us at geekyfaucets.com.
Mm-hmm.
No, at gmail.com, right?
geekyfaucets@gmail.com.
Yeah,
and share us with your friends.
Yeah,
share us all over the place because and we'd love to hear from you. And
please comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for all those who do comment because it makes me feel popular. It's probably a bad psychological problem, but it's true.
It's all right. We love to hear from you though because we want to know what you think too. So thanks, and we'll see you on episode 5.